Yeah, what's good with this? Your boy Meet Your Man, Master Energy, the Risen One, man. I'm back with another divine reaction video game. You hear me? Another divine reaction video for all my divine beings out there, man. Hey, if y'all believe in yourself, man, subscribe to the vid, man. Subscribe to the vid. We're gonna grow together. We're gonna go up together. That's just how it's gonna go. You feel me? But let's get to the vid with it. Hold on with it.
Ladies, gentlemen.
So I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. I think it's just going to get
That's kinda
weirder
weird.
and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.
All right, here's my question. Here's my question for TikTok. If the moon is so bright, why is the light only reflected on this part of the ocean? Shouldn't it be everywhere over here? But
Now,
it's only focused on this
I feel like
area.
that too.
So
I feel
it's
like
got
that
me
too.
convinced that I'm the only person on the planet that can see where the moon is reflecting off the ocean. Because why is it all that lit up? If my point of view was from over here, I should still be able to see all this lit up. I don't know. I don't understand how this bright of a moon isn't lighting up the rest or anywhere else other than this strip. Somebody let me know. So there's got to be something I'm missing here.
No, I ain't gonna count. That's a good question. That's a good question. Hey, thank God for AI. We thank God for AI. We need AI. Don't thank God for that though. Can't thank God for AI. We can't.
Orbs. This is an animation of an orb drone made by the U.S. military, according to the U.S. Navy patents, for high-frequency gravitational wave generator. Now, it's basically a metal ball filled with gas, some electronics. The middle part has the batteries and communication. And there's these two hemispheres here, right? So the outer shell, you can see how there's a shell here? That has gas in it. And that is microwaved by these little things here. And that turns into a plasma, a charged gas, and it vibrates the outside of the vehicle very fast, like 100 megahertz or 100 million times a second. And when they play sound waves through these two spinning things, that frequency intersects with the microwaved outer shell, and that creates gravity effects around the outside. Now, you notice how there's two sections? It is made out of two hemispheres. This allows for the vehicle to use one of them to fly, and the other one to do other fun stuff. Like, that's how it sees. It doesn't have cameras on it. It sees kind of like a sonar. It could also push and pull things with the second hemisphere. And also it could disable electronics or screw with people's brains, as Trump calls the discombobulator, right? So this thing could discombobulate people while it's flying around.
So I want to know, is this a man-made thing or?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's the most basic gravity wave emitting advanced vehicle they have. This is their drone.
Okay then.
Drone of the future.
Drone of the future. that fast.
In this
Like
clip,
lightning.
we can see a small Indonesian fishing team encountering some kind of strange anomaly. Strange, small, black circular objects begin to surface on the ocean. As they observed these unknown objects appearing, they explained a larger circular craft then surfaced before disappearing deep into the ocean again. What could this be? Let me know in the comments.
Why can I be out there in all that water, boy? Too much
September
water.
23rd, 1953, when my father acquired the Bigfoot, a few of them were so big that they had to cut them up.
That's too much water, boy.
The torso of one, if you put the waist and the legs and the arms and the head on, would be over 16 feet tall. Some of them are smaller, and some of them actually have dwarfism.
Instagram user SquatchWatch1 shared photos and a clip of what is believed to be a kappa, a Japanese river creature from folklore.
Yeah, I feel like big feet.
The footage
I
showed
said
the
big
figure
feet.
near the water.
Big
When
foot
zoomed in,
will come
the
in
features
different
seem to
sizes.
match
Gang.
descriptions of a kappa, but it all looks a little suspicious. Maybe a costume, maybe AI. Or do you believe it could really be true?
I think it's funny when people say about bears, oh no, they wouldn't go up that high, they wouldn't go up that high. They will go up that high. They will climb a mountain simply for the view. And this has been documented, and scientists theorize that they have a sense of solitude and appreciation of nature. So even though there's no food, water, nothing really to sustain their life up there, they seem to enjoy it. So they will go up that high. They will.
No, that's crazy. Boy.
Literally.
To be up that high
And you can feel it
and
underneath.
to come in
when you
contact
step
with a
right
bear
straight
is
through
crazy.
here.
Just who or what is capable of this type of damage has opened up renewed debate in the area.
They say it's the lizard man.
Whatever is responsible, this family isn't taking any chances.
Received a lot of questions about my video with the plane flying behind the sun. I noticed that the additional explanation was necessary to clarify this issue. First of all, watching the video, we clearly see that the plane is moving behind the sun, leaving a trail of smoke. Now, some of you said that it may be an optical illusion. Well, in this case, there is no optical illusion because if you look closely, the smoke left by the plane is clearly moving, and it is moving behind the sun. Some of you claimed that the plane and the smoke trail are in front of the sun, but we can't see it because the sunlight is too strong. In this case, I present to you another video. I recorded this during the solar eclipse. Here a plane flew in front of the sun and left a trail of smoke. It is crystal clear that the plane and the trail of smoke are in front of the sun. In this case, the plane or the trail of smoke did not disappear. For sure not because of the supposed very strong sunshine or sunlight. I use solar filter and Nikon P1000 for my videos.
It's a crazy story. There's a guy named Carl in Wyoming. He's hunting in the Medicine Bow National Forest alone. Sees some elk 100 yards away, lines up with his rifle, boom. He says, Dave, it's like everything went into slow motion. I see the bullet come out the gun about 3 or 4 feet and it drops to the ground. And then 2 alien type entities walk up to me and they engage him in mind speak. What they do is they eventually take him on a craft and they take the elk on the craft. And it's like the elk are frozen there in time. And they have him march behind a screen. And they said, we don't want you. You're going back, mind of mine. He says, the next thing I remember is falling 10 to 15 feet. He's guessing. They're already searching for him because he's missing. And they take him to a hospital and they're taking x-rays. And he had tuberculosis scars as a kid. Those are no longer there. And he had other medical issues that are completely cured. So I'm talking to Carl and I said, well, why do you think they sent you back? And he says, well, I think it's because I had a vasectomy.
No. No. That's crazy.
That even the FBI cannot explain. Frank Morris prison escape. Frank Morris had an IQ of 133 and had spent his entire life breaking out of prisons. Alcatraz was supposed to be the one he could not beat. Alcatraz was considered the most escape-proof prison ever built. Surrounded by freezing ocean currents, it had never recorded a successful escape in its entire history. Over months, he used a metal spoon to quietly dig through the concrete wall of his cell, creating a tunnel that guards never once noticed. He and 2 other inmates built a working raft from over 50 stolen raincoats and crafted realistic dummy heads from soap and hair to fool the nightly bed checks. On the night of June 11th, 1962, all 3 men climbed through the tunnel, crossed the roof, and disappeared into the dark, freezing waters of San Francisco Bay. They were never found. No bodies, no confirmed sightings. In 2013, a letter arrived claiming to be from Morris, saying he had survived and lived under a false identity for 50 years. The FBI never officially closed the case.
Didn't the Smithsonian cover up Adam and Eve or something?
Are you talking about the Adam and Eve book?
Yes.
Oh, that's a different one. That's so that's a book that was released in 1966 by Dr. Chan Thomas, and it's called The Story of Adam and Eve. And that story title sounds cute until you read it and you realize he's talking about really Adam and Eve. And the story is it's this 278-page manuscript that is classified by the CIA, and they've removed 200 pages. There's only like 50 or 60 pages left, and half of those are blank, and the CIA says it's been sanitized. And the reason that the CIA was so interested in the Book of Adam and Eve is because it describes the end of the world. And Dr. Thomas, in the book, talks about pole shifts and what happens when the poles shift. Something happens to the inner core of the Earth, our electrical field gets thrown off, and when that happens, the poles shift, and it's something that happens over and over and over again. And his pole shift is a 90-degree shift, so Antarctica goes to the equator, and the equator goes down south. Like, it's violent. And as it's shifting, the atmosphere continues to rotate, west to east. So that he describes in the book just walls of water and this wind and debris just tearing across everything. Cities are reduced to waste. He says New York, Boston, Chicago, LA are nothing but memories. New York is at the bottom of the sea, and Antarctica is at the equator and becomes, like a tropical land. And the story is the CIA wanted this suppressed because it would cause chaos and all that.
While out on the water for a day of fishing, this person recorded something unusual. A tail appeared, rising out of the water. It looked like what many would describe as a mermaid's tail. Some believe it could be a person wearing a costume, but with such a short clip, it's impossible to say for sure. So was it just a prank, or something far more mysterious beneath the surface?
There's a fisherman near Sitka, and he's checking his crab pots. He's going along the shoreline. The fog rolls in. He hears what sounded like a child crying from the tree line. He ignored it at first, but it gets louder. And then instead of just a baby crying, he begins to hear a kid's voice. He starts to distinguish language in the sound. He's like, it's a kid calling for help. So he walks a little closer on the shore to the wood line. The crying stops as he approaches the trees. And instead of the kid's voice calling for help, the voice changes a little, and he heard his brother's voice asking him to come in deeper. Oh, goodness. It all kind of clicks to him before he steps in the woods. He's like, I remember the stories of my ancestors. Instead of going toward the voice, he turned around, got back in his boat. As soon as he pushed off, he saw movement on the shoreline, low, dark shapes moving away that weren't quite human or quite animal. There wasn't a clear face, wasn't a clear form. It was just something watching, but as soon as he pushed off from the shore, the voices stopped.
That's terrifying.
Shouted, it turned and waved an arm dismissively at him, which is when Spencer managed to take this photograph
got out of
and move
just
faster than a human. He followed it and saw a huge silver saucer disappear into the clouds. He then realized that the humming sound he had heard was from the saucer. The picture was shown to UFO researchers and a thorough investigation started. Wildlife photography experts and Kodak film laboratories revealed that this was not an animal and the object was indeed part of the photograph and not superimposed or part of a double exposure. Philip soon started having weird dreams, and under hypnosis, he revealed a fascinating tale about being abducted by an alien and taken aboard a craft, and given a thorough medical examination before being released. What did Spencer really encounter that day? He never profited from this story, but he did share his story with everyone.
Instagram user primeclip.io shared a clip filmed in a swamp in a thick forest. It showed a long, thick shape beneath the water that looks large enough to be around 30 feet long. It could be a green anaconda, one of the largest snakes on Earth, known to grow up to 20 to 30 feet and relying on strength rather than venom. It's described as a predator that hides in rivers and swamps, waiting before striking with crushing force. But it's hard to judge scale, and it could also be something closer to the camera than it appears. Still, it's a terrifying scene.
You stay away from murky water. Stay away from murky water.
Guys.
No cap.
I came across this video. It didn't have much information, but that looks like Nightcrawler from the X-Men. I mean, it looks very weird. What do you think this is?
A man had gone out alone at night to navigate a swamp by boat. As he moved deeper in, he suddenly heard a sound echoing through the area. It sounded like church bells ringing in the distance, clear but completely out of place. The strange part was, there were no churches anywhere near that location. In fact, nothing was close by at all. To this day, he says he never figured out where the sound came from or what caused it. But it unsettled him enough to leave shortly after filming.
Nature is so cool, and this is one of the neatest things I've ever seen a plant do. 20, maybe 25 yards up, dropping roots all the way down to the source of water. It found a way. Always reminds me of Jeff Goldblum. Life finds a way.
Meet Dak, the Bigfoot specimen we found in the Adirondack Mountains in 2024. The DNA we got done at Cornell Veterinarian BioDNA Lab shows Neanderthal lineage. That's right. Dak is a mixture of Neanderthal and human. Meet your cousin.
Boy.
TikTok user Tasha Myers49 shared a video of a visit to a creek with a disturbing reputation. According to the explanation, the area wasn't always like this. Years ago, people used explosives to create a swimming hole, but it accidentally opened up an underwater cavern system beneath it. Since then, the water in certain spots has been known to pull downward. If someone jumps in the wrong place or swims too deep, they can get caught in a strong current leading into the cave system below. Over time, multiple drownings and disappearances have reportedly been linked to this location. The exact path of the underwater tunnels is still unknown, with only the exit points of the water being understood.
What's that mean, my cousin?
Hillside, and it looks exactly like a full-scale UFO craft.
For some reason, I feel like it's something or someone that's up there above the clouds.
¿Qué está pasando allá, weón? ¿Veía o no?
¿Qué es lo que sale? ¿Una nave? Los extraterrestres no existen, dice.
Man, that tree moving fast, boy. That tree down there
Before
running.
Roger Bannister broke the record for the 4-minute mile, considered humanly impossible to run that fast. When the world saw that this was possible, the barrier was shattered. And less than 6 weeks later, new record was broken again. Fast forward to today, same thing is happening with human psionic abilities. Last year's Psi Games, a woman completed the Mind Sight Challenge in less than 50 seconds. You don't know what mind sight is? You might have seen these videos popping up of people who can see while blindfolded. It's called extraocular vision. Okay, so a woman in the audience who saw this challenge last year, she decided to go take some mind sight classes. Less than 1 year later, she was able to do the same in almost 50 seconds.
The seed vault in Svalbard, where every seed in the entire planet is inside in case something happens to the world. I guess they think it's not going to happen here. So there it is. I wonder what's going on. There's cameras all over it. Look at that. What is all that about? Dude, how cool. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault is the largest safety backup of the world's crop diversity. There's no public access to the seed vault. Door's locked.
That's a viral clip right there.
There is a portal in the United States in a highly guarded facility that is used under US Forest Service cover, and there are witnesses who have seen people of the US military walking into literally a wall. These witnesses are terrified. They'd been walking in what is public land, public parkland, and they'd be stopped by men with guns, men in uniform with automatic weapons, clearly highly trained elite soldiers, probably tier 1 operatives from the way they moved, and they would basically order people, go away or we will kill you. I am in no doubt that there is a deep underground military bunker that was built in the 1950s under Secret Mountain. That's what it's called. It's the hilarious thing, and it's called Secret Mountain. It's within 5-7 kilometers of Sedona. And more importantly, there's a place called Secret Canyon where there's allegedly a portal, some kind of interdimensional portal. Now, if you're protecting the security of what is supposedly an academic research institution, you have the camera pointed out so that you can see people coming from the outside.
Yeah.
But you know where the camera's pointing?
Where?
It's pointing exactly at the point where Linda Bradshaw says she saw the portal.
People have said that Alex Jones is actually working for the CIA. And it's because he says all these crazy conspiracy theories or like stuff that's happened and but he adds in Hillary Clinton is a lizard woman. So it like discredits everything he says. So people are like, they're saying that he's saying real things that are happening or are going to happen. It's immediately discredited by how psycho he is.
You have to at least agree that that would be a good strategy.
Yeah.
If you were trying to like make something
If y'all still here, I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all a lot.
silly, you would put it among other very silly things.
What do we call that tactic? The silly tactic?
Yeah. I think there's only one way to handle this, General. I think we gotta get silly.
Somebody call Alex!
So yeah, bring in Mr. Jones.
But it was funny, on the Joe Rogan podcast I listened to, he was saying crazy stuff. Joe Rogan was like getting mad at him. He's like, what proof do you have? And he's like, I'm telling you, man. He's like, Jamie, look it up. Everything Alex Jones was saying, Jamie's like, yeah, he's right. And then Joe Rogan's like, this is what's driving me nuts. He's like, 95% of the things that you say are indeed correct, but you're being a psychopath about everything.
Your delivery is so whack.
Petrified giants. That's what we are here to talk about today. But actually, this one right here behind me is a smaller one. It's still petrified. It's a little humanoid, probably about our size. And We believe it's possibly a she, and she is looking up that way towards the sky. Seems like a lot of them were looking up at the sky, looking at something coming to get them or looking for something. But you can clearly see the chin, the lips, the nose, and the eye, and it looks like maybe something on her head. But we're out here in Colorado, got the coolest things to show you. That's what we do, is we have a Petrified Giants touring company, and we take you to see the coolest things. Please like, share, follow, repost, all that good stuff. I'm trying to share this with the world. This stuff did exist. Giants, they were in the Bible. They talked about them in Genesis, Numbers,
I bet that was very
multiple other
traumatic.
places throughout the Bible, and also in the Book of Giants. And so this stuff was very real. If you believe in God and you believe in the Bible, then you gotta believe in this stuff because it was real. Thank you.
Hey, no cap. If y'all stay to the end of the video, man, I really want to say I'm grateful for y'all. I got more content coming for y'all. You just stay tuned. I got way more reactions coming, man. We only gonna get bigger and better.